All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another one of my interviews here on Drip Talk with Blake and Snake Roberts. Today, I have a very special guest with me. He is a former pro wrestler. He's wrestled for the companies WWF, WWE, TNA, NWA, ECWA, IWA, IPW, AWC, and much, much more. He is no other than the Big Bad Wolf, Jr Ryder. So we will get him on in here, and then we will start on with our interview.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, man. Thank you for having me. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, thank you for taking your time out to do this.
Anytime.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to add to what I just said or anything about
I think
yourself?
you got it all. I don't know if anyone's ever a former pro wrestler. I mean, I think once you're we're just retired. We're just retired for now, they call us.
Right. All right. So the first question I'll ask you is, when did you start doing wrestling and what made you want to get into it?
I was actually in a very successful band, a heavy metal band back in the early 90s called OMSF. And we were the house band for L'Amour's in New York City, and we would open for Overkill and Biohazard, Typo Negative, and Ozzy, and we were getting pretty big. And then Pearl Jam, they came out and ruined it for all of us. So we all got released. I had to go get a real job, and I was furious about it. But I started driving a beer truck, man. So I was working for Miller Beer, and I'm driving a beer truck, and they just they walked up to me in a parking lot one day. It was a Nate Hatred actor from CZW. Walked up to me in a parking lot. I started talking to him, and then I wound up at Liberty All-Star Wrestling, got trained by Bay Ragney, which was Chubby Dudley, and Glenn Osborne, and the rest was history. That was 1995.
Wow. Yeah, Chubby and Glenn are awesome. I've had them on the podcast too.
Very good trainers. I'm glad they're a part of my life. Still stay in contact with them.
Yeah. And about bands, I'm like a big band guy too. And me and my friend always talk about band and wrestling stuff. So we like music and everything like that too.
Sounds good.
What age were you when you officially got into the wrestling world?
I was 95, so I was 21. I think I was 21 or 22 when I first got in. And I climbed through pretty quick. When I said I was going to do it, I was going to do it fast. So I got in there 95, and by 97, I was working for WWE. So I climbed up pretty quick.
Yeah, 2 years.
It took 3 years to get there. Yeah, but it was a fun ride.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, not a lot of people get that opportunity in that quick of a venture.
I was very fortunate. Good people around me. I had good mentors, and I made a lot of good friends, the right friends, right? So,
of course,
Steve Carino was the one that actually originally called me and got me booked for WWE the first round. So I owe him.
Wow. Did you watch wrestling as a kid? If so, who were like some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
So we all watched it, right? So the first time I ever saw any professional wrestling, when I was about 13 years old, I turned on the TV, and there's Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart, and he's going off about how the Ultimate Warrior came down, stole his title in 30 seconds, and beat him up, and it's pulling me in, and I'm thinking, wow, I want to see this Ultimate Warrior guy, right? So then, he goes out to the ring, and here comes Warrior, and I'm like, there's my guy. And it wasn't, probably 6 years later, there I am thanking Honky Tonk Man. It wasn't Warrior that pulled me in, it was Honky Tonk Man that pulled me in. And I had to wrestle him a bunch of times. I love working with Honky Tonk Man. And I thanked him graciously. He's the one that pulled me into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I seen that you worked him a couple times outside of the WWE.
Yeah, so little house shows in Delaware and in Jersey. I got to wrestle a few times. Great experience working those guys. That's part of the fun part of the indies, just doing that, though. You know, you're
Of
not
course.
restrained by Vince and the 6-7 minute matches you have in WWE. But as far as who were my favorites growing up, you know, once I found out, you know, and started falling in love with it, you know, Doug Furnas and Philip LaFon, I thought they were one of the best tag teams of all time. Never got the credit they deserved. They pulled me in, and then I would go through the history. So, Gorgeous George, man, Gorgeous George is
Oh yeah.
the greatest heel of all time. I don't care. He was unbelievable. He was the original Sports Entertainer. I'd watch his matches. I'd watch his extra everything, and I'd watch his footwork, and I would steal from all those guys. But Doug Furnas, Philip LaFon, Gorgeous George, Harley Race, Flair, they're my favorites.
Of course, yeah. Those are great picks. Oh wait, you mentioned who are your wrestling trainers, Bay and Glenn. Is there anybody else that helped you along the way to get into the success of the wrestling business?
Well, you know, you learn a little bit from everybody. I mean, I can thank a million people. You know, I went from Dennis Carluzzo, Jim Kettner, Glenn, obviously, Bay, Steve Corino, Kevin Kelly. But, you know, Steve Corino getting me my first look, which I greatly appreciated. But then it was Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette made more for me than probably I ever deserved. And I owe him a huge debt of gratitude, and I love him to death, and I can't thank him enough. Jimmy actually, he called me. This was in and around, I think it was around 98, 99. He was the booker for WWE, and he just hated the job. He really hated it. So he called me, and he was telling me how he's going. I got to call 40 more people, and this is a pain in the ass. I'd rather be in Kentucky, where the fuck he's from. And I said, well, Jim, why don't you just, why don't you just give me all the dates, and I'll book everybody. And it was probably the best close I ever had in my life. He goes, you'll do that for me? Yeah. So, boom. Now I'm the booker. So
there you go. Look at that.
I was the booker for quite a while.
What was it like getting to do all of that? Was it a lot of work?
No, you know, you just think I had all the dates, and I was, Inferno Kid, certainly him and I always say I'm the most televised of all time on the independent wrestler. Inferno's probably right there with him. He's close if not beating me. But, we just picked guys that we thought deserved it, and we bring them up. And then Kevin Kelly came in, and, we had a nice clique, man. We had a great group of guys. But, yeah, I would find out, I think, respected the business, that weren't just trying to talk to me to get booked, but actually wanted to learn and listen. That's how we brought guys up.
Yep. Do you still watch the business today? If so, is there any wrestlers you like now?
Well, there's a lot of guys I like now. Timeless Tony Storm I'm enthralled with. I love Timeless Tony.
Oh yeah,
she's doing an amazing job. I think she's one of the only ones in AEW doing an amazing job. But I'm a big fan of hers. Roman, of course, is just lights out on the next level with everybody. Cody, I think Cody's ready for a heel turn. He's gotten stale. And then there's a lot of guys coming up through NXT. I think they're gonna have a good run coming up soon.
Yeah, definitely. After all these releases, I think that's why they released them, because they're going to be sending some NXT wrestlers back up to the main roster. I heard.
Well,
possibly.
Keep in mind, and this is one of the things that I always knew, and Cornette always tell you this: it's only a TV show, man. there's only so many spots on the TV show, so
right.
Enjoy it while you're there. Make the most out of it, but don't forget there's an outside world where you can have a lot more success, and go enjoy life, man. And that's what I did. I've used my WWE celebrity to boost my business, and I had a great life, man. I still hang out with my friends. Bubba Ray Dudley comes down, we go to the Elbow Room, or Gangrel, or Billy Fives, and it's a lot of fun.
Right. Yep. Who has been the stiffest wrestler you've gone in the ring with in your career?
That's me. Well, Bradshaw and Farouk are not exactly. They're snug, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have been very, very lucky to get in there with a lot of really good guys. Nathan Jones, I worked him very stiff, but he was green. He knocked me out cold, but it was an accident, not mad at him. But there's guys that are stiff, and then there's guys that just hit hard, and I'm one of the guys that hits hard as well. So I appreciate it when it's legal. I don't like
Right.
soft plancha bullshit. I like old school Harley race, Jake the Snake Roberts. That's the way I like to work.
Yeah. And about that Nathan Jones knockout story, do you mind telling it?
Nathan, and if you remember Nathan, he's about Scott. He's got to be 7 feet tall, and he's 340 pounds. He was just massive. What a gigantic human being. Very nice guy, but man, he didn't like getting hit. He didn't like getting hurt. So like when we were practicing, he was getting mad, like because I guess maybe performance anxiety, but it was me, Fit Finley, and Undertaker putting this match together. So like here I am with these and Sarge. So you know, I had a hell of a guys just putting this match together for Nathan. But it was a spin kick that we had planned. Had a great match actually. It was a really good match. It's probably the best match he ever had. And it was just a spin kick, and I had my arm up, but he's so strong, man. Just kicked right through it, knocked me out cold in the ring. And I came back, and I don't know how long I was out for, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Give him credit. He covered it pretty well. I came back to finish the match, and my backstage laughed about it. But that was Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Pittsburgh
was that? Yeah. Was that like an embarrassing moment for you at that moment afterwards, having to walk back or?
No, listen, anytime I always laugh everything off. It's not ballet.
Right.
You know, I use that, you know what I mean? The whole audience loved it. You know, and I was known for I would crawl back up the ramp and then I would grab the ref and make her crawl. So, you know, I just used that. All handy shit, but it was always fun and entertaining.
Yeah, right. What type of sports did you do? Do you have like a background in any type of sports during like high school or during your time in school?
I was a gymnast, not a great one. My brother Wyatt was, God, he was on the verge of the Olympic team. He was amazing. But I was like the little brother, gymnast, tall and lanky. I couldn't do anything right. But as I got into wrestling, all that stuff I learned, like guys my size couldn't do it. So it was just easy for me with up and overs and backflips. Like it was second nature. So that's one of the things that got me as far as I did. And I'm obscenely strong for the size I am. So the ligament strength and gymnastics worked well in my favor as well. So
right.
Gymnastics, and like wrestlers are probably the toughest guys. But as far as strength, the gymnast man just freaks.
Yep. Gymnastics will definitely help you with wrestling. Definitely with for the high flyers, definitely all the flips and stuff. So
there's too many flips nowadays.
What would you consider to be a weakness and the strength of yours in wrestling?
You know, that's a great question, man. Strength, I can control the audience as good as Steve Austin. And there were plenty of nights where I would go out there for my dark. I was the king of the dark match. And the asshole chant would be going so loud that they had to calm them down before the show started. I really got a really strong reactions all the time. As far as a weakness, you know, I think I was kind of maybe one-dimensional a little bit. I wasn't really ready to bend on my character, and I probably should have a little bit.
Right.
I was stuck as Jr Ryder for so long. I am him. I live my life as the guy, right?
Right.
So, you know, as far as a weakness, probably the fact my inability to evolve as the business was evolving, probably.
Yeah, because there's a lot of wrestlers that had different personas, and then there's you that got stuck with Jr Ryder your whole career.
I was there my whole time. That's great. At the end, I was Kenny Kanido for a couple shows, my Evil Knievel character. But I loved being Ryder. It was a great life, a great run. I mean, I was there for 8 years. I mean, I can't complain. I got more dark matches than anybody in the history of the company. But yeah, there was a lot of high flying and Japanese styles coming up, and that wasn't mine. I like doing a whole lot of nothing. Less is more.
Right.
Then they wanted more is more, and I wasn't ready for that.
Right. How did you come up with the name Jr Ryder?
That was given to me actually by Bay. I was in his school, and Bay used to be in a tag team called the Hell Riders, and then
right.
CW became Chubby Dudley, and they needed a partner for his partner. So they booked me on a show in Jersey as one of the Hell Riders, and I think I was originally going to be called Jack the Ripper Ryder.
Oh wow.
Terrible. Hindsight being 2020, but they just made it Jr Ryder and just stayed on this breath.
Yeah, that was probably a better option.
That was a bad one.
Was it hard traveling from show to show, and what was the worst or best thing about traveling?
I love to travel, man. I still love to travel. I still do travel. That's why you see me in my little bodega here. But now, dude, the travel was the best part for me, man. I've always been a traveler. So I like being in the band. I like being in wrestling. I love seeing new places. I can't sit still. There are a lot of guys that hate to travel and they complain about it. But I got to tell you, man, I've been to tiny little towns and had more fun than Ric Flair. I love it. I love it. I have no issues with it at all, man. I still travel for work, so it's great, man.
Right.
And the other thing about me is I always worked. Like I didn't like. There's guys out there, and I've never understood this. They get into wrestling, and then all they do is wrestle, even though they're not making any money, because they want to live this terrible lifestyle where they're poor and trying to figure out how they can all share a room. I'm like, I was in the car business. I had money. Like I'd go to the arenas. I'd stay at the Hilton across the street to sleep. Everybody else is down the airport, like 9 guys in a red roof hotel sleeping on the floor, so they can all save $6. For that.
Right. Is there a reason behind why you didn't stay with the WWF or WWE?
Well, it's just a TV show. You know, we all get old. When you look back when I was there, and, I was lucky to be there. I was there during the Attitude Era, man. Like,
right.
Did you see the roster back then? Everything was stacked.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, the Dudley Boys, Edge and Chris. Like, it was crazy. But the problem was we all started to look the same. We all had the wrestler hair. They brought Test in. Test and I looked literally exactly the same, only he was 7 feet tall. We're almost identical. And you've seen a couple of matches where I had with him. They dyed my hair a different color, and I would wear a different outfit. I was wearing red with flames when I wrestled Test because we looked exactly alike. There was talks of him and I being a tag team, test and quiz, but it just never came to be. But listen, again, it's a TV show, and when your time's up, and someday they're not going to call you anymore. And it's time to move on. You just got to be ready for it. I was always ready for it.
Right.
I want to be The Rock, but unfortunately, there's only 2 at the top.
Yep. I can see, definitely a resilience between you and Tess, and that would have been a great tag team, I think.
We would have done well together. He was a good guy at the beginning, but then he, I don't know, he had his demons, man. So God bless him. Passed away, but we would have done well together.
Mm-hmm. Who was your first opponent in front of a crowd, and how did you feel going into that first match?
My first opponent for WWE or my first opponent ever?
In front of a crowd. So we could say WWE.
Okay, so WWE, my first opponent was Dan Severn.
Oh, wow.
So I got to New Haven, Connecticut, at New Haven Coliseum, and I got in the back, and I was following my instructions, keep my mouth shut, and sitting in the hallway, and out comes Jimmy Cornette. And who was with us? Carino was there, and Julio was there. I forget who else was there. But he goes, well, you're working him, and Ryder, best I can do for you is Dan Severn. Good luck. Just walks away. UFC Dan Severn? It was Dan Severn's first match, too.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it was. I think it was. But
crazy that.
It was great. It was great with Dan. But what's funny, and I still to this day, Carino will still rib me on it, is Carino was like, are you nervous? And I'm like, no. He's like,
right.
I'm nervous. Dude, I played Woodstock 94. I'm good, bro. And this is nothing. He's like, Woodstock 94. Like, yeah, Woodstock 94. I'm fine. This is nothing. But I was never nervous in front of the dad.
Right. Was Dan any stiff or snug from his boxing background?
he's Dan Severn. You know he's there, but he's a great guy. He came to me and asked me what I wanted to do. But it was Dan Severn. I mean, what could I possibly do? And that's I said, Dan,
Right.
there's nothing I can do to you that they're going to believe. So we both know how this is going to go. So we went out there, put him over strong and got in the back, and they thanked me, and then I was booked forever from there. But I really
Right.
enjoyed it. I'd like to work with him again. If I worked with him again, I'd do a lot different with him.
Mm-hmm. How did the crowd react when they saw you for the first time against Dan Severn?
I remember walking out, and when I first got into this business, literally everybody, brother, my God, and I guess other guys should have this happen to them. Everybody told me I'm wasting my time. I'm going to get hurt. You got a good job driving a beer truck. And I'm like, fuck this job driving a beer truck. I'm going to be a fucking star. So, when I walked out, I don't even remember the sound of the crowd because I just looked around and I thought, I did it. Everybody's proven wrong. If I go no further than this. But
right.
Learning that day, because when I got there and they get you in the ring and they teach you where the hard cameras are, I mean, it's not like the indies. I mean, you got to find the cameras. You got to be in the right position, the right time. You got to know where the finish is going to be, so the cameras got you. Like it was a very cool learning experience, man. The guys that got good at it paid attention. CM Punk, right?
Yep.
He learned it very well. The hard all the camera angles. He sat with Paul for years and learned all that, how to edit and everything. And that's one of the reasons he did so well, because he cared about all of them. And you had to. If you didn't do that, you'd maybe get a shot or two, but you'd never be seen again. So it was good. The reactions were always great that I got. Every now and then you have a snooze fest match. I had a couple doozies that were really bad. I had no reaction on it. But you just laugh it off and move on to the next one.
Right. If you could go back in time and wrestle anyone that has passed away, who would that be?
Anyone that's passed away, Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Well, I'd wrestle Savage immediately. I'd be the first on the list.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that would have been great.
He was something special, man. One of at least the top 5 greatest of all time, easy. But he was just always an icon to everybody. And they'd say Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was obviously bigger than life, but Savage was right there. I mean, when Hogan didn't have the belt, Savage had it. They didn't lose $1. I mean, the money was still coming, and he did a great job, man.
Yep. Would he be on your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, you think?
The Mount Rushmore of wrestling is not fair, though, because there's more wrestlers than presidents, right? So if you did the math, a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, there were like 90 guys on it. Would he be on that? He would not be on that.
Right.
Mount Rushmore would be, let's see, is Vince. I mean, Vince would probably get his own monument, right? So his own wrestlers, you'd have Austin, obviously, was there. Hogan was up there. And I would think Andre's going to be up there. And then as for a third one's got to be Flair, right?
Yeah, that's a good list.
I think that would have to be the Mount Rushmore. Who else would you put?
Right. Who is someone you would like to wrestle that you have wrestled in the past?
Oh, God. That's a lot of them, man. I tell you what. You know who I had the most fun wrestling was Viscera.
Oh, really?
I had so much fun wrestling Viscera, and he was so funny and so everything. Him and the Godfather. I'd love to wrestle Godfather again. But Viscera was so funny and giving. Like, dude, I beat the piss out of Viscera. Like, you watch, he gave me everything. I love that guy. He kind of helped make me a little bit. So I'd love to wrestle Viscera again. God rest his soul. Nelson's a great guy. Listen to that. I'd love to wrestle.
Yeah. Do you usually get along and become friends with most of your opponents?
I get along with everybody, man. And that's kind of, I do that in life too. There's no reason not to. Like, are there guys that I think are assholes? Yes. But you know what? I ain't living with them. I don't care. And very rarely, with the exception of Jerry Lawler's son, did I ever have a problem with anybody. Everybody, if you're respectful, they respect you. And as long as the upper echelon guys Taker and Bradshaw, Farouk, and them like you, you're good, man. And they always respected me. I was respectful of them, and I asked the right questions. Other
Right.
guys with a chip on their shoulder, it's not going to fly, man. And that's why AEW is the way it is, right? Like AEW, I think everything, any eyes on the business is good. What a shit show they got going on over there because it's all a bunch of egomaniacs running around doing 3,000 high spots and nothing makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because there's no hierarchy, right? It's just not there. They don't have Undertaker or Wrestler's Court, right?
Yeah. I don't even watch it. I don't watch AEW. I keep up with what they do, but I think they just bring in the legends and the wrestlers to try to outdo WWE or something.
That's never going to happen.
Right. Yep. I agree. If you could make a Survivor Series match, including you with 4 current wrestlers from any company, who would you choose as partners?
For current wrestlers active today or guys from my era?
Today.
Today? Oh, boy. All right. So 4 active guys that I'm going to take today. I'm going to take Punk. I'm going to take Roman. I'm going to take who else would I take there? Who else would I take here? So Punk, Roman. Oh, man. Cena's active. I'll take Cena.
Yeah.
4 of them, right?
Yep, one more.
Who would be the last one? The last one would be LA Knight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good one, yeah.
LA Knights. And on the other side, who would we face? I think I want to face Solo. New Bloodline.
Okay.
New Bloodline would be good because I've worked every other Samoan. I might as well work them. There's 3 of them, right?
And the New Bloodline. Yeah.
So you have 3 of them, and then I put Randy Orton and there's another good one over there for heels. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh, okay.
Put him in there.
That'd be an interesting faction there to see what they would all do together.
It'd be a good mix of guys.
Yep. See if the New Bloodline could get along with the other 2.
Let me tell you something. I've wrestled so many members of that family, and every one of them is excellent. Every one of them. I wrestled Alpha Jr. when he was 16 in Jersey.
Wow.
He was in a tag match. He was 16 in there with me. I wrestled Lance Anoy, who I think they just signed. He did a run-in when he was 5, and I was wrestling his father, Samu. I mean, he was 5. And then he dropped people's elbow on me, and him and his father both did me, which I thought was a nice moment for the 2 of them. Oh, Lloyd, I mean, I wrestled almost all of them, except for The Rock. He's probably had to wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, the Anoa'i, the whole Samoan family is just great wrestlers throughout the whole legacy of the family. So
smoothest in the bed. Everything looks devastating, and they're the smoothest people in the world.
Yeah.
And every one of them would give you the shirt off their back. Every single one.
Of course. Would you rather be in a street fight or a death match?
I will never do a death match. I've been anti-death match ever since that stupid shit came out, so I'd rather be in the street fight.
Right.
Cutting myself up with broken glass and razor blades for 12 kids in the front row is not something I think is responsible entertainment.
Right. Would you rather be in a blindfolded match, handcuffed to your opponent, or a dog collar?
All right, so I've been in a dog collar match with Glenn Osborne. I have not been in a blindfold match. I have seen a great blindfold match between Kevin Kelly and Ty Street at an ECWA show, which I thought was tremendously done. But I would rather do the dog collar match. You can do more with the chain than you can with the mask on.
Right, yep. Is there any piece of merch that you have or had that has sold out pretty quickly in your career?
I never had merch at WWE, but I always I did really good with bandanas, man.
Oh, really?
They were cheap. I can get them for like nothing. I get like 10 of them for like $1 back in the day, and I'd have Ryder airbrushed on it. They sell out. I'd sell them for $5 or sell every damn one of them. So I
Wow.
really know what they
Is there any time a fan has seen you in public and got like super surprised and or excited?
uh, many, many, many times. And even not as much anymore, but I still every now and then I don't look the same anymore. I'm old now. I have fucking short hair, but I still get it. But I've had plenty of exciting moments. Kids jumping on me, and and it warms your heart when that happens. Fun. My wife hates it when it happens, but I enjoy it.
When did you decide to cut off your hair? Was it your decision or?
That was mine. I was God, when was that? I was around 2010, I guess. I cut my hair. Yeah, 2010. I cut my hair off. Because I don't know. I just ready for a change.
Right.
Yeah, so I cut it off. So it's easier.
Time for a new version of Jr Ryder.
Yes, the professional version. Went and made a bunch of money.
You kind of remind me of Rob Conway in a bit. Like you kind of have like similar looks.
Conway's another great guy. Genetic freak. Rob Conway. We were at OBW. Rob Conway and Doug Basham. And you ever seen these two's physiques? Like they're just freaks. Like I have no idea how they got in such good shape. It's insane. And we would always like you walk in the gym and see that and just give up immediately, go to the bar. It was ridiculous. Cool.
Yeah. I've met Doug Basham recently, like a year ago, and he's still in really good shape for how old he is.
Great friend of mine. Great friend. And a great mentor, too. And I met Doug in OBW, and we've been in contact ever since. I love Doug.
Yeah.
And listen, Doug.
Who's you?
Doug, I don't think Doug ever got the credit he deserved in WWE. He's legit one of the best wrestlers in the world. He was lights out, unbelievable.
I agree. Yeah. Definitely with his tag team with his
Danny.
Fake brother, I would say. Danny Basham.
Danny's retired. Danny's retired living up in New Hampshire or something.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything now. I mean, he's just living his life.
He married well. I think he married well and he's retired. He did okay.
Yeah. Who's your favorite horror character and favorite movie, or favorite horror movie if you have one?
Oh, favorite horror movie. I don't like horror movies anymore. I used to like horror movies. I don't like them anymore. I don't know what happened. Favorite horror character? It's got to be Jason, right? I mean, he was iconic.
Right.
That was a great one. And I would say, as far as favorite horror movies, The Evil Dead.
Okay. Yeah, that isn't bad.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Chucky.
Chucky was good. I remember when he came out. We love that movie. I mean, it's getting a little stale now, I think.
I agree. Yeah, I like the original Chucky. Now, I haven't watched much of like the new version because I'm not really a fan of what they do now.
Right.
It's not really my type, But
I gotta tell you, I don't watch much TV. I really don't. It was all woke garbage. I stopped watching it forever ago. Didn't like it. It was there.
I don't really either, unless it's wrestling on like Mondays, Fridays, or just whenever I watch wrestling. Really, that's all I really watch. So,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. What is generally your favorite music to listen to in your spare time?
I listen to a wide range of music, actually, but I'm big on my favorite bands, Ghost and Volbeat.
Ooh, okay.
Favorite bands. I think Volbeat's probably my favorite band, and Ghost. But I listen to everything. I listen to country. I listen to opera. I listen to all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right.
That's usually Volbeat.
If a movie was made about your career, who would you want to play you?
To play me? Oh, that's good. Who would I want to play me? Man. I have to play myself, bro. I don't think anybody else can do it. I don't think there's anyone that's ever had the life that I had. An actor that would play me. I guess the guy that played Superman. What was his name? Justice. I guess he'd have to do it. We're about the same size, I think.
Right. Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Thor. It'd have to be Hemsworth.
Yeah. I said Chris Hemsworth thinking it was Superman for a second.
No, it was the other guy was Superman, but Hemsworth would be good. It would be Hemsworth.
Yeah. Because he played Wolverine, so... right, yeah.
No, Hemsworth plays Thor. Who the hell played Wolverine?
Oh, wow. Jeez, I'm bad.
Sorry.
If you got to choose the stipulation for your match, what stipulation would you choose?
I like cage matches, man. I've always had a lot of fun in cage matches. A lot of fun in them. Cage matches, TLC matches, I had a good time too, because with the props, you can do a lot of stuff with fans. But I always like the cages. Very good time. There's a picture of me, I like called iconic. I have it blown up at home, actually. Me putting one of the SAT, Spanish announce team, in the tarantula through the door of the cage. And it's a phenomenal photo. And then Loki came out and kicked me and blasted my head off to get him out of it. But it was one of the best, loudest pop I've ever heard in ECWA Arena. I've never heard a louder pop there in my life. And Jim Kettner will back me up on that one. It was unbelievable. They came out of their seats. I've never seen it like it.
Right. Steel cage matches and like Hell in a Cell matches are great. Like the war games that they always do. I mean, those are great matches.
I would have loved to have done a Hell in a Cell. I would have had a blast in that.
Yeah. What is the funniest thing a fan has said to you before?
The funniest thing a fan has said to me? Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin on that one. I mean, I've had guys in the front row trying to impress their girlfriends with $100 bills, waving them at us that we thinking we won't steal it in WWE. We do.
Right.
Take their money right out of their hand and just get back. You know, I've had some strange requests. I've had some good comments. I've met some good friends along the way. But I don't know if there's specifically one. If there was, I probably couldn't tell you what it was anyway. Probably some girl in St. Louis saying something vulgar.
What has been a best fan compliment you ever received, either at like a show or out anywhere?
All right, so there was a gentleman, I think his name was Greg, man, but I believe he had cerebral palsy, and he was in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed from his neck down, but he would be at every single ECWA show. And he was always just sitting there, and he couldn't move. But he always had a sign. His sister would draw a sign from her because he could tell her what he wanted. And she'd draw him the sign and have his sign. And I got in the ring one day, and I just started staring at him. And everybody's, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm bringing him in. I'm making him part of the show, right? And this went on forever. And all of a sudden, he showed him with Jr Ryder signs, and then anti-J team signs, and it went on and on and on. And then one day before a Jim Kettner show, he passed away. Actually, and his sister came in the locker room and wanted to read a letter that he had written, and it was a thank you to me and JJ for bringing him in and treating him like a fan, and it was really heartwarming. It's one of the nicest things I've ever heard in my life. I was glad to do that for him. He was a sweet guy.
That's awesome that you did that for him. Yeah.
Well, I think everybody else was afraid. Like, when he's there to have fun, I mean, he wants to be part of it. So, like, he would just stare at me, be picking fights. It was a good time, man.
Right. Of course.
If I could have gotten him in the ring for an angle, I would have done it for him. There's no way to do it.
Right. Which wrestler has given you the best advice and or compliment?
Oh, God. There's so much good advice along the way. Kurt Angle. Very flattering after my Nathan Jones match. Very flattering. best advice, man, always comes from keep your fucking mouth shut and your ears open. It's the best advice you can ever get. And, I did that. And then Jim Cornette, man, it was always good advice. There's so many, bro. I mean, it'd be impossible to pin one down. Sergeant Slaughter, tremendous with me all the time. I would just sit there and listen to Vince talk. Other guys, people go up there, they're afraid to approach Vince, and I was never afraid to approach him. I introduced myself to him in the hallway in Philadelphia one day, and he didn't even respond back. I just shook his hand and introduced myself. And he just nodded at me. But I would sit there with him and Stephanie at lunch, and I would just listen.
Oh, wow.
If no one else would listen, I would just be listening. And he wasn't even necessarily talking about wrestling. It could have been business or life or just anything. And I'm just sitting there absorbing, not talking to anybody else, not involving myself in drama, just listen to the man. And it served me well, dude. And throughout my whole life to this day.
Of course, yeah. Getting close with the boss is the best. I mean, you have better.
Well, it's not even that getting close with the guy. I mean, I wasn't very close with him, but I listened to what he said. The man's a billionaire. It's like people that and there's people that hate him for some reason, which I don't understand. But it's like Donald Trump is worth $30 billion now, but people are like, he's a loser. Well, I'm going to listen to what the man said because he's worth $30 billion. Right? There's good there. Let's learn how to do that. Even if you don't like the guy, listen to the man. He's got good points.
Yeah. I like him too because he was in WWE. That's one reason I liked him.
I love him to death. Apparently the whole country.
Yeah. Yep. Do you like being a heel or babyface more in wrestling?
Everyone likes anyone that says they like being a babyface more is a liar. I love being a heel.
Yeah.
Being a heel is so much fun. It's way more fun. When you're a babyface, you're boxed in. You can't cheat. It's all right. I mean, listen, it's a good paycheck. It's fun, but it's not like being a heel. Being a heel is great.
Yeah, I agree. Because I would prefer being a heel. Like, for what I do like a backstage. I have like a whole character and plan for when I want to get into the wrestling business. Right now, I work backstage as an interviewer for a company where I'm at in Michigan. And I'm getting what?
Where Paul Heyman started.
Yeah. And then, so I'm doing that, and I do backyard wrestling with like my stuffed animals and stuff. I'm a heel character and everything like that. So I have it all planned out.
All right, well, don't get hurt the rest of your stuffed giraffe.
Was there ever a time in your career you ever got kicked out of a wrestling show you were wrestling at?
No. No. Has somebody said yes for that?
Yes.
I have never been kicked out of a wrestling show.
Yes, they've said yes, and they've told the story too.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to respond to that.
What would you do if a crowd member came out of the crowd and attacked you? Or have you ever witnessed that or anything?
Unmercifully beat the piss out of them with zero remorse, regardless of who they are. There'd be nothing left of them. I mean, I would not, if they got in the ring, I would not feel 1 ounce of pity for them at all. Stay in your seat.
Yeah.
Charlie Haas?
Yeah.
Charlie Haas got a fist play with a fan. Fan came after Charlie Haas is a legit NCAA seat in the hall. Like Charlie Haas, he's not Kurt Angle, but he's right there with Brock Lesnar as far as wrestling capabilities. So he's not a guy you want to fight, but he's a fan came after him.
Yep. If you could wrestle for any wrestling company right now, what company would you like to wrestle for?
WWE.
Of course, yeah.
Wouldn't even consider. When I got there to WWE, my whole goal was to get there. When I got there, Other guys were jumping ship, going to ECW, WCW, Japan. I was like, and they kept asking me to go. I'm like, guys, I want to be here. My dream was to be here, and I'm here. Do you want me to leave? No. I followed the route of Matt and Jeff Hardy. They got their asses kicked for years, and then they became the Hardy Boys, right? I was on the same path. I didn't have a partner. I needed a partner.
Yeah, right. Would you rather join DX, NWO, APA, or BWO?
APA. Hands down, bar none.
Yeah.
Bradshaw and Farouk were so good to me and such cool guys, and I worked them many times, and most of it was skits and bars. But great advice all the time. Bradshaw notorious. If he didn't like you, he would torture you. He hated Taz. When Taz got there, boy, he tortured him. But
oh wow,
Bradshaw came up to me. This is in and around 97, not 98 maybe, and I was wearing my black outfit with the black tape. And actually, it was the first night that I wore a blue outfit. And he asked me if I minded getting changed because we were dressed alike, very similar. And I said, no problem at all. And I shook his hand and thanked him for letting me know. And I went and got changed. And dude, he was cool with me the entire time I was there. No issues, no heat. He was a very nice guy. And a smart guy.
Right.
Very smart in the business.
Of course, yeah. And I'm glad to see that he's still doing stuff in the wrestling business now. Like, he could possibly even have like one more match. He's getting out there and doing stuff still. So
clotheslining everybody now, right? He's shoving clothesline.
Yep.
He got fired one time.
Oh my god.
He was wrestling Jake the Snake Roberts. I think they were in Europe, and they kept telling him, no clothesline on Jake. You're not using the clothesline as a finish on Jake. You're going to do a small package and beat him. Okay. So they got to the finish and he clotheslined Jake's fucking head off and then put him in a small package and picked him.
Oh my god.
He got fired for it for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. That was great.
It was crazy.
I mean, he did do what they told him to do afterwards.
He did. He was going, you not to use the clothesline as a finish. Okay. Whack. Fucking head off. When Bradshaw clotheslined you, you're getting clotheslined.
Yep. If you could have any band or singer perform your theme song, who would you want that to be?
Okay, so this is the great part of my career. I actually performed my theme song. It was my band.
Oh, really?
The song was called How You Like Me Now. Anytime you hear someone say the phrase How You Like Me Now, that's me. I've been saying that since I was like 6. And our first single on our album, The Lords of Metal, was How You Like Me Now. And that was my theme song all the way through my career. So, me.
Wow, yeah.
I think Honky Tonk Baby would be the only other one. Shawn Michaels, baby. The three of us, they were the only ones that sung our theme songs.
Yep. What did you play in the band? Did you sing or
I was a singer,
what instrument?
Sing.
Nice.
I got to sing. I have a wonderful voice. I got from my mother. I really do.
Nice. Yeah.
My one brother was a drummer, other brother guitarist. Then we had our other buddy was a guitarist. Then we had our buddy was a bassist. Then we did pretty well, man. We could have gone much further, but we were drunk all the time and didn't treat it like a business. Had we treated it like a business, I probably would not have gotten into wrestling. I'd been going with the music.
Yeah. I can sing too because I'm in choir and everything, and I do like theater and everything like that too. So.
Yeah, man. Stick with it.
Yeah. And also, talking about in bands, Bay Regney was also in a band too. And
oh, yeah. He has long hair. He's shred.
Yeah. Yep. I just thought of that because he was your trainer, and then I just thought I would mention that.
I texted him today about the Philadelphia Eagles. He was very happy about it. We both won.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad they won too.
They won big. Good for them.
Yeah. Did you like the halftime show?
I did not watch it.
Oh, really?
I was out, and as soon as halftime went on, I left and drove home, and I watched the rest of the game here. By the time I got home, the game was back on.
Yeah. A lot of people said they didn't like it. I personally liked it because like the songs, I kind of knew them all. So
right, I have no comment on it. I didn't watch any of it. I probably would not have because it's not my kind of music.
Yeah. What is the least favorite wrestling move to receive?
Oh God, man, there's a lot of them. I won't take anything that puts me on my head. So I won't take I wouldn't take pile drivers. I wouldn't take tombstones. Dr. Death had this freaking suplex release bomb, and I wouldn't take it. Seeing guys get your necks broken. The vertebraker, I refuse to take the vertebraker. Somebody tried to death me once. I laughed at him. Failed right out of that. But nothing that takes you down on your head. Anything else, I'll take. Nothing that can paralyze you.
Yeah, because I heard the tombstone pile driver is a dangerous move to have to receive.
Well, anything where you can break your neck, I'm not participating.
Yeah. What has been the hardest move you have tried to do to an opponent before?
The hardest move? Well, I stick to my core group of moves. I mean, I never have a hard move. I'm pretty agile, pretty strong, so I never had one that I couldn't do. I mean, my favorite move is my finisher, which is the gorilla press into the choke slam, the airborne virus, which I like. But I'll take to the sky every now and then. My springboard elbow drop is pretty amazing. I haven't done it in a long time, but that was always my favorite one. That was the hardest hitting thing. I use that as a finisher for a long time.
All right. What usually got you hyped for a match that you were going to be in?
Dude, I was always hyped, man. I'm always up that level. Just the crowd, man. I just like to perform. And it doesn't matter who I'm working or where I'm working. It could be 12 people at a fair, or it could be 30,000 people in Philadelphia, First Union Center. I don't care. I always pump up to give them a good show. They pay their money, give them what they want, but I just love it. So as soon as I get in that ring, I think you turn it on. So nothing pumps. I'm always pumped up for it.
Of course. What is one of your favorite things to do after all your matches?
I just like to get advice from the elders, right? I'd like to go sit in the back and, of course, talk to your opponent about how it went, how he felt, and then you get with the agents, man, and you get the reaction. But most of the time we all wind up in a bar, sitting there just shooting the shit, having a good time. Sometimes too good of a time, but we had a good time.
Yep. Backstage in like WWE, WWF, and TNA, would you consider yourself as one of the boys, or did you not really talk to many of them that you like wanted to respect them and not like get into their privacy?
No, I was absolutely one of the boys, and I viewed very, very, very well. I carry myself well. I don't get into the drama, and I'm not a child. I get the respect.
Yeah.
But when you start, you got to keep your mouth shut for a while until they start accepting you. But once they start giving you nicknames and, they know you join the clique, right? So I was in the clique. It was good.
Of course, yep. Out of all the venues you've got to wrestle at in your career, which one would you call your favorite?
Madison Square Garden was just because of what it is. Madison Square Garden is amazing. My favorite one, Baltimore might be my favorite. I mean, I had more fun in Baltimore than anyone deserves. It's not that big of an arena, but we had so much fun in Baltimore all the time. Like Baltimore, yeah. Nassau Coliseum, maybe. Yeah, Baltimore. Baltimore's the most fun.
Yeah. Have you ever wrestled in Wisconsin or done anything in Wisconsin before?
I have not gone out to Wisconsin. I've never even been to Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
And it was in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, you know what? Milwaukee's got the great buff. Is that the Bucks?
Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah.
The Bucks, right? I did wrestle there. They have the best buffet in the States out there. The catering was unbelievable in Milwaukee. Now that you're saying it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Milwaukee had the best catering.
I'm guessing it was for WWE, if you remember.
Yeah, for WWE.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're known for the cheese, so yeah, we have good cheeseburgers and stuff here.
Is that where you are, Milwaukee? Is that where you're at?
No, I'm like 45 minutes from Green Bay, so I'm like Marinette Peshtigo area.
It's freezing up there right now.
Oh yeah, it's cold. But I'm so used to it that I can wear shorts in it. So I mean,
yeah, God bless you. For Fort Lauderdale, it's 80 degrees here. People can't wear shorts. They're still freezing.
Wow. I wish it was. I wish.
It was 65 degrees last week. They were all crying and their heaters on, or wearing ski jackets. It was ridiculous.
Wow, that's crazy. I get hot so quick. I have to have fans on when I'm sleeping, like when it's really cold too. So I mean, can't believe how they can do that.
Open a window there, and a polar bear will climb in and kill you.
I've opened my windows in the winter. Has there been any time you have accidentally broken out of your wrestling persona?
Have I broken character? We've all broken character. We start laughing or something funny will happen. I have many times. I've broken, but it got to the point where my character could break and it didn't matter. I mean, they all knew when I was there. I was there to lose. It didn't matter what I did. But plenty of times we would try and break each other. Viscera and I would try and break each other. Godfather was good. He would break you, and so when Cena came up, he was good. He was very good at breaking you as well. He was good, obviously. We're always trying to break each other. You'll see us smiling, or you're covering your mouth and try not to, but sometimes you can't help it.
Right. Was there ever a time in your career you've ever gotten embarrassed in a wrestling match due to like a mistake or anything?
Oh, dude, I've had a couple bad. Yeah. I wrestled the Dupp brothers.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where the heck it was. It might have been Meadowlands. And it was literally the worst match of my life. I could do no right. I got in the ring and I stunk up the whole match. I went to throw an arm drag and it was just bad. It was really embarrassing. That was the worst match I ever had.
Yeah. I mean, everyone makes mistakes, so I mean.
Yeah. You laugh about it and you move on.
Yep. What has been the scariest or most dangerous incident in your wrestling career?
Oh, scariest, most dangerous. Man, I've done a lot of crazy stuff. Off ladders from tables and whatnot. But again, I always stayed pretty safe. I mean, scariest moment, I got a stinger wrestling. Who was I wrestling? Doug. What's his damn name? I was wrestling
Gilbert?
in Jersey. Doug Gilbert. No, he was. I was wrestling Doug Gilbert, and Doug Gilbert decided prior to the show to smoke a bunch of weed. So he got in the ring high, and he DDT'd me, and he held on a little too tight. I jammed my neck. So that was the most scary moment in my career. I couldn't turn my head. To this day, I still heard it. That's that asshole. But that was the scariest moment. But I'm good.
Yeah. What would you say has been the worst injury you've gotten? Is that the worst, or has there been worse?
No, I got out pretty much unscathed. I tore my ACL back in 2015. I came back. I just did some shows for JJ Johnson, Right Coast Pro in Delaware, and just on a snapmare, I snapmare the guy over, my ACL tore. That was the worst injury I ever got. A move you learn the second day of wrestling school.
Right.
So the ACL was the worst one I got.
Yep. If right now in your career say you got a call from WWE, TNA, or any big company asking you to return, make an appearance, or anything, would you take up that offer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I always would go back and give back, and I've inquired. I would go back as a coach if they needed it. I love the industry. I love the business. I certainly love WWE. It was my home for all those years, and I was very fortunate. A lot of guys they grounded out on the independents, and I was working with WWE for Monday to Tuesday while they're wrestling in high schools. So I would absolutely go back. I'd love to go back and not just go back and teach wrestling, but teach them like life advice. What to do, what not to do, and I know what to do with it now. Back then, I didn't know what to do with it, so I knew earn it back. And they're making a lot more money now than we did. So someone it'd be nice to go there and teach them all that stuff.
Yep, I think you'd fit well in NWA now. I think that would be
NWA with Pat Kenny is my good friend Simon Diamond, right? He's a bigwig there. I talked to him about it a few times. It's too regionalized. There's not enough business. We're not drawing at house shows, so there's just not enough to go around.
Right. If you got told you couldn't medically wrestle for the rest of your life, what would you do?
What was the question? If I got told I couldn't wrestle?
Yeah, couldn't medically wrestle for the rest of your life, what would you do?
I could lay on the beach like I do now. That's exactly what I
Well, there you go. Yeah.
25. I'm 52, man. If I was 30, it's a different story. But I'm like, that's good. Wrestle? No. I wrestled. Was it 2 years ago? I guess last year, 24, 23, maybe. It was in 23. It was in 23. I wrestled in August. I wrestled Bull James from NXT.
Oh, okay.
That's bad. Yeah. Great. I mean, it was a great match for what I can do now. Not compared to what I did in my 20s and 30s. But that was my last one. I was going to go back and wrestle for Tommy Fierro when I had an issue that prevented me from going. So I didn't get to that one. But I might do another one for Fierro, for ISPW. He's my buddy. If the ring right,
of course. Yep. What would you say has been the longest you've had to stay out of action for wrestling?
I was fortunate to go through the whole. I never got hurt. I had to stay out. I was straight through from when I got in 95 to 06. I never had an issue. Totally fine. I didn't do stupid shit. All the guys drive on their head and get hurt, or actively going out of the way to get hurt is why they're getting hurt. I don't dive through the ropes. I don't do dumb shit.
All right.
So I never had to take any time off. I tore my ACL, but that was a one-off show that I did. It's 8 years after my retirement, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I never even got that fixed.
Do you feel like you are worthy enough to be part of a wrestling Hall of Fame?
No. For WWE, no. That's preserved for guys like the Dudleys, Triple H, those guys that have given far more to the business than I ever gave to the business. No.
Yeah. What are some of the wrestling championships and achievements you have won in your career?
Oh God, I got a million regional titles. I mean, I got the ISPW title, the ECWA titles, tag titles, King of the Ring titles. I mean, I've held belts in every one of the regional federations, the NWA and everything, but never anything in WWE. I would have loved to have been Intercontinental Champion. I think had the business not changed, it went, they got rid of the Attitude Era, maybe it carried a little longer for characters like mine, I might have gotten a shot at least vying for it. I wrestled the Godfather when he was the Intercontinental Champion a couple times, and I would have loved to have held that one. That was always the one I wanted.
Yeah.
But not the shape. I'm still in good shape. I'm in better shape and bigger than most of the guys. So maybe I can go back for one last run against Brock Breaker.
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah.
It would be hard. I get killed. Break my leg.
Yeah, did you see what he did to the
Good,
streamer Extra Speed at the Royal Rumble?
good. I hope the prick has a broken pelvis. I don't like when
That was
entertainers get in
crazy.
the ring and play wrestler.
Yeah. Who are 5 wrestlers you would put into the Hall of Fame that are not in there that you think deserve it?
Oh God, I'm not even sure who's not in there right now. I think they're all in there. They put everybody. The world's in the darn thing. Who's not in there yet? Oh my God, brother, I don't know who's not in there. Aren't they all there? Like who's left?
I mean, there's a lot that are not in there that.
I mean, even Gorgeous George is in there. I think. I would put Phil. I'll tell
Possibly.
you what. Well, I guess it's got to be. They've given to the business, but they also give it to WWE. I mean, the Hart Foundation's in there. The Head Shrinkers or the Head Shrinkers are in there, right?
I don't think so.
Are the Hardys in yet?
Nope.
Hardy should be in there. I think Christian should be in there. Christian should definitely go in. I think Paul Heyman went in last year, right? Sarge is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who's not in there? I'm sure Kane's in there, right? Kane's in it.
Yep. And Undertaker.
Al Snow should be in there, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Al Snow should be in the Hall of Fame. And Al Snow's done more backstage for guys than anybody. Is Cornette in there?
No.
I think Cornette should be in there. Cornette should have it. He probably would turn it down and tell everybody to fuck themselves, but it'd be the greatest speech of all time. But Cornette should be in there.
Yeah, I agree. One person that I really think is overdue, and I always say this, that I think Cyndi Lauper is way overdue, and I think she should definitely be in there.
Is Cyndi Lauper not in there? I thought she was.
Nope, she's not. She's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but not in the WWE.
She should definitely be in there. She absolutely should.
Yeah, she's every year. I'm like, I really hope she's in there.
I would have thought for sure she's in there. Look at that. That's a travesty, right?
Yeah.
She was as pivotal as Hulk Hogan making wrestling back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Out of all the companies you've wrestled for, which one would you say has been your favorite?
Outside of WWE?
Yeah, sure.
WWE is obviously the favorite. Outside of that, the ECWA is very high on the list because of what it is with the Super 8. And Jim Kettner is just a great mind for wrestling and did an awful lot for me and a lot of other guys. And ISPW, Tommy Fierro's shows were just amazing. I mean, he just was packing arenas. Like, he was drawing 6,000 to 7,000 people. Like, they were huge shows. It was amazing. And Tommy is just really still to this day one of the best promoters I've ever met. Very good friend, great guy. But ISPW and ECWA, I love that. You know, they were very, very instrumental in my upbringing.
Yeah. So you were part of the MTV's I Want to Be a WWF Superstar. What was it like getting to be part of that and just the atmosphere of that?
That was a great experience, and it was done intentionally. It was supposed to be me, Glenn Osborne, and Julio Sanchez. Julio Dinero were supposed to go, and then Glenn and Julio couldn't go for whatever reason. Couldn't go or wouldn't go. I was asked to go by AFA to represent his school on the understanding that I would be winning the whole thing. So that's why I was the first one in line, because I was told be there at 4 a.m. and don't move. Make sure you're the first one in line. So I did. And they put me in, I was in my disguise, my Flyers hat and whatnot. And I was supposed to go over. And then at the end of it, and I didn't even know we were beating them $1 or anything. That was news to me. I was told it's a one-day tryout where everybody's going to do all this stuff. And then, at the end they pick winners. It's going to be you. And I was like, okay. So Then at the end, Mick Foley picked the other guy, and the other guy, Hungarian Barbarian, I think his name was, right? He
Okay, yeah.
he thought he got he literally thought he had a contract with WWE. He was calling up there, and I think they did bring him in for a dark match at one point. I believe they did, but that was great, man. Listen, it was fun because after that, that thing was viewed. Dude, like 5 million people watched that thing. Like it was an insane amount of views on the thing. So my popularity went through the roof. Like if there was social media back then, I would have had 30 million followers on that day. Like it was just crazy.
Right.
And that really put me on the map as far as national people knowing who I was. That was great. That was a great experience. It was embarrassing at the time, but it was the after fact. It was the right show. There's no bad TV, they say,
right? All right. So you kind of think that's kind of what started your fame?
Well, I think it certainly helped. You know what I mean? They were confident enough to put me on MTV. They knew that they put me on MTV, I wouldn't embarrass them, right? And so I got there, and it did great, man. It was a good look at for MTV. And Carson Daly was there. He was a great guy. I got along great. And I left a little early. I wanted to beat the traffic out of New York like an idiot. I should have just stayed home in the studio with Carson Daly. What the hell I was thinking.
Yeah. Are there any funny or interesting on-the-road travel stories that you would like to tell, if there's been any?
There's a million stories from. We were in Baltimore, and I forget what year it was, but they got like 4 feet of snow in like 3 hours, and they shut the whole city down. So we were snowed in. We weren't going anywhere, right? So Vince put us all in the hotel across the street. He had us all on these 3 floors. And he called the beer companies. They delivered 10 pallets of beer, wouldn't let us leave the hotel. And then, of course, every stripper from Baltimore showed up. And it was just an unbelievable party. But the funny part, I had driven down, Inferno Kid rode down with me, Danny Jamundo. When we came back, he had parked his car by my house at a shopping center. So when we got back, his car, I guess they went to plow the lot. His car was in the way, so they just plowed his car under. Like,
oh my God.
We're talking like, it was like 30 feet of snow on top of his car. It was like a mountain. And I just started laughing. he had to dig a tunnel in his car. It took hours. It was just, then he just floored it to get him out of there. With a million stories of midgets and vulgar stuff I don't tell on here, but always great stories, man. Hilarious stuff.
That's great. How did you get your wrestling nickname, Big Bad Wolf? Where did that come from?
Big Bad Wolf, where did that come from? I think I just said it one day. Like, I think I said it to Kettner that I wanted to be the Big Bad Wolf of wrestling. You know what? I was cutting a promo. I had turned heel on Cheetah Master. I hit him with a chair. And then I just said it at the end of the promo. It just came out of my mouth, and it just stuck.
There we go.
Well, I just threw it out there. It fit. It stuck for a long time. I think they even said it on WWE a few times.
Oh, wow.
Big. Everybody else was 7 feet tall.
Interesting.
I just threw that out against Cheetah one day.
Cheetah's a great guy, too. I've recently got in touch with him, too.
He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
If you have Cheetah on here, I hit Cheetah legitimately with the hardest chair shot you have ever seen in your life. I don't care, Mick Foley. No one can argue. It was the hardest chair shot you've ever seen. And now, 20 plus years later, he went to the doctor because he has a broken vertebrae in his neck. And I broke his neck. I am sorry. And I won't even argue because I think I probably did. It was brutal.
Yeah, I'll have to mention that to him when we do our interview. When we set that up. Who is one wrestler from WWE or WWF that was in there when you were that you'll never forget?
What do you mean by forget?
Like who you would call like a really close friend and that you were really close to and
Gang-
always talked with.
Gangrel. Gangrel was always there for me. He was my mentor. Him and Luna were great. A very good friend of mine lives not too far down the road. I text him and talk to him all the time. And Gangrel, absolutely. When I got there, he just took me under his wing, and he was always there for me. He's a wonderful guy. Great teacher. Great teacher. And you know what?
Yeah,
He should be in the Hall of Fame. There's one for you. He should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. He is amazing.
of course. Yeah. What about TNA? Who was there anybody that you got along with there?
I got along with everybody there. You know, I wrestled AJ Styles there. I wrestled the Naturals there. I probably could have stayed, but again, the money wasn't right. And, you know, I liked it. I didn't love it. It just felt like a big independent show. I think Jeff Jarrett did a great job with it. But I think, again, it was cliquey because they had the X Division stuff. And I didn't really feel like it was a spot for my style there. I wrestled AJ. Had a very good match with AJ, but then he went in the back and cried that I stiffed him, which, you know, we can argue that all day long. But it was a great house. And listen, Terry Taylor was there, who, again, wonderful mentor of mine, a great guy, loved him to death. And it was a nice atmosphere. But it really wasn't my shtick.
Right. Who was one wrestler that you never got to get into the ring with that you wished you could have in WWE or WWF?
So many of them, man. So many. Big Show. I would have loved to wrestle Big Show. I would have had so much fun with Big Show. I was so good with those big, gigantic guys. That's why they always put me in there with them. I would have loved to wrestle Big Show. I would have loved to wrestle Kane. God, who else up there am I not going to hang up with? You know, certainly everybody wants to wrestle Undertaker, but that's not going to happen. Right? Like it's up there. But yeah, Big Show's the guy I would have loved to have gotten into a Big Show.
Yeah. I mean, Mario Mancini, he was what they would call him enhancement talent. He was Undertaker's debut match.
I remember that on Raw, right?
Yeah.
The body bag with Mario Mancini.
Yeah.
I remember him.
He's what most people call like one of the best enhancements. I mean,
well, there was back in the day that when they had the enhancement guys, every match had an enhancement guy, right? That's why that's how they thought they made stars, right? So, you know, sometimes the enhancement guys are the best guy on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
But listen, Brooklyn Brawler. Brooklyn Brawler's an enhancement guy. He was there for 36 years.
Yeah, I can't believe that they would call him an enhancement talent.
He's the greatest enhancement talent of all time, according to him.
Yeah.
But he had a very good point about it because he said, you know, the average lifespan of a WWE worker is only a couple of years. They're usually gone. There's not a whole lot of Triple H's and Shawn Michaels running around. You know what I mean? Even Bray Wyatt's brother's gone already. Like he's been back a month. You know, so your shelf life is not very long. So to be there for 36 years, that's pretty smart.
Yep. What were some differences that you've seen between the locker rooms and just atmosphere in general of WWE and WWF? Was there a difference between the two companies that you could tell, or were they kind of alike?
Same exact company. It was never a different company. It was just a name change because he wanted to go public with the company on the stock exchange, but there was a lawsuit with the World Wildlife Foundation, and it wasn't worth fighting it. He probably could have won it, but why bother? He wanted to go public, so he changed to WWE, which was a better name for him anyway in the end because he wanted to get into movies. So it made sense. Yep. It's the same exact locker room. There was nothing. People have asked me, you know, like, you're wrestling for this one, that one. They're the same one. They just changed the letter. That's all they did.
Yeah. Federation to entertainment.
Yes.
Do you feel like you could have done more in the WWE, or do you think what you did was perfectly fine and you did what you could have?
Oh, I think I could have done more, but everybody thinks they can be the WWE champion, right? And I'm no different. I would love to be the WWE champion. I would love them to give me the ball to run with it. The talent pool is so stacked. I mean, when I went down to OVW, I went there with Chris Daniels. We were both down there, and it was the Bashams, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena. The list went on and on. I mean, this is who you're up against. I mean, there's only 3 hours of television, so I was like, shit, they'll keep my spot. At least I was getting my 8 to 20 minutes a week. I mean, there was one week where I was on every single show. I was on Velocity, Shotgun Saturday Night, Sunday Night Heat, Raw, SmackDown, whatever. I'm like, well, maybe I got a pretty good spot here.
Wow. And did they ever offer you a contract in the WWE?
Yeah, I got offered developmental deals. I got offered developmental deals, but they didn't pay any money. You were making Edge when he first got developmental. He was making $250 a week. By the time they came around to talking to me about it, it was up to $500. But I would have had to move down to Louisville. And keep in mind, I got 2 kids and a wife. I'm not going from making $100-something grand a year to $500 a week and living in Louisville. Like, no. They paid me $1.50. Maybe I'll consider it at the time. But no, there was no way I was doing that.
Yeah. Could you share the story on the controversial Evel Knievel WWE angle that you did?
Well, that's actually Nathan Jones is partially responsible for that. So when Nathan Jones kicked me and it knocked me out, and he was shaking me to wake me up, and as I was coming around, he kept saying, "He's okay, he's okay," and that stuck with me. While I was driving home, I was talking to my wife, and I told her, he kept saying, "He's okay." I was like, I felt like I said I felt like Evel Knievel after he crashed the motorcycle, and then I let it go. And then I thought, that might be a good gimmick, the Evel Knievel, and have "He's okay" on my ass, and this might work. So I went down and I met Evel Knievel, and I got his permission to do it because he had just sued Kanye West for dressing up like him. So he gave me permission, and then he built me a motorcycle, and he autographed it. It was one of the last autographs he ever gave out in his entire life. And I debuted Kenny Knightle on Monday Night Raw against Harry Smith. And that was the wrong opponent. They should not have done it with Harry, because Harry Smith, tough guy. His dad was a great guy. Harry's not that kind of wrestler. He's not an entertaining wrestler. He's a mat wrestler. They should have given me someone I could do some comedy with and have some fun with. It kind of went a little flat.
Yeah.
But then, we were talking about it, and I'm in the back with Triple H, and we're all coming with these great ideas, right? It was very well received. But then 2 weeks later, I get a text message from CM Punk, or from Paul London. And it's a picture of CM Punk with an OVW guy wearing my Evel Knievel outfit.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did not take too well to that. And then CM Punk called me too about it to tell me that they had him in the outfit. And I called Tommy Dreamer right away. And I love Tommy Dreamer. And I told him I needed him to take him out of the outfit. There was no way I was letting him steal it from me. And I don't think Tommy Dreamer stole it. Don't get me wrong there. I believe Michael Hayes stole it. That I do believe, because I don't like Michael Hayes at all. So I think it was Michael Hayes and doing that because he liked the idea but didn't like me. So there was that. Actually, he didn't like Jim Kettner. Michael Hayes doesn't like Jim Kettner's never didn't like me. It's pretty much how
wow.
But the Evel character was great. Said he's okay on his ass, and I had the stars and bars, but dude, it was going to be less of an evil character and more of a Super Dave Osborne, if you know who he is, which was a mockery of Evel Knievel, where he would do a stunt, like you'd see him on a trampoline, all of a sudden there would be a dummy flying through the air, and then it would bring back to where it's him. So we were just going to have fun and do stupid shit with it. And the pitch was me and Trinity. So it was going to be Kenny, Carey, and Kevin Knightle, and we were going to be the KKK. And we would all be racist and not know it. So that was the whole comedy thing. we'd get blown up and we'd wind up in blackface with our hair teased up. And then we'd walk in and bump right into Farouk and Mark Henry. And then, of course, they beat the shit out of us. And we would just never know why. That was the whole comedy of the gimmick.
Trinity, like the tall Trinity, the girl?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Trinity, the bodybuilder girl, Trinity.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
She's great.
ECW's Trinity, yes.
Yeah.
She is great. Okay. And she's a professional stunt woman. Like, she's a legit professional. So that's why it gave it some realism, because she is. And then we can just handle up and get blown up every single day and lose, but we're always okay. That was the whole thing. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
So I'm going to ask, like, what was it like to share the ring with? And I'm going to name a wrestler, and I'm going to do this for a few wrestlers. And then you're just going to share, like, what was it like to share the ring with them?
Fire away.
All right. What was it like to share the ring with Giant Silva?
Giant Silva was my second match. Big dude, man. Big dude. He didn't speak much English. It was hard to communicate with him, but he did okay. I really enjoyed working with him. But he's tall. He might have been the tallest one of all of them. He was like 6. He was like 7'6". He was up there. That was the highest jokes that I've ever taken in my life. But that was a lot of fun. That was my second show there. That was a great time, Giant Silva.
Yeah. What about Draws?
Dude, one of the most tragic things in the world. Draws was another guy who was my very good friend. Very good friend. And I remember that was Meadowlands when he broke his neck. He was an awesome guy to wrestle. We would just try and break each other and say funny shit. In fact, the last time I wrestled Draws, I powdered out of the ring and I was pretending like I was going back to the locker room, and the headbangers came out of the locker room. I didn't even know they were coming out, and carried me back and threw me back in the ring. And we went to the finish unaware they were even going to get involved in it. So that was a good time. But what a great dude, man. What a great dude. And it's such a waste of talent when that happened, though, man. Tragic.
Yeah. Were you there at that show?
I was. That was Meadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
I was. I had left because I think I was riding with Pat Kenny or Julio De Niro. They wanted to roll early, so we rolled early, and then it happened.
Wow.
I wrestled Godfather. I think I wrestled Godfather.
What about Brutus Beefcake?
An honor to wrestle Brutus Beefcake. It was just an honor to wrestle him. I wrestled him in Jersey. I forget who I wrestled him for. I don't know whose show it was, but I wrestled him twice, I think. It was a great time wrestling Beefcake. Honor.
Yeah. What about Steve Corino?
Steve Corino is one of the best minds in professional wrestling, period. I mean, one of the best minds. And I don't think his talents are being used properly in NXT, because I don't see people using his psychology like they should. But he's a Dusty Rhodes guy, man. Like he's a Dusty and a Paul Heyman guy. Like, he's got fucking psychology on the wazoo. He's a pleasure to be in the ring with. It's just easy, man. Just easy.
Yeah. Perry Saturn.
He's a fucking asshole. He's a bully and an asshole. And, I heard he's running into some rough stuff, and maybe he turned his life around a little bit. He's not as much of an asshole, but he was an asshole to everybody. He was okay with me in the ring. I mean, he didn't really do it to me like he did to other guys. He's a little snug, but I hit him back. He's all right. In real life, the guy has mental problems.
Yeah, I got to meet him. He's pretty cool. I think I met him a few months ago, not that long.
He's been through a rough road, so maybe he's humbled himself a little bit.
Yeah, I think he did change a lot.
He was shot in the face or something, right? I think he was saving someone's life, or he found someone was getting beat up, and he saved the woman.
Oh, yeah.
Shot him in the neck or something. Yeah. Well, good for him. Good for him for defending the woman. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe God was humbling him.
Yeah. What about King Kong Bundy?
Ah, the funniest man of all time. I really miss Chris. He was a great guy. A great guy. You got in the ring with him, you didn't do anything. He didn't want to do anything. He just splash and go home. He was a pleasure. It was just an absolute pleasure, is all I can say about it. And my mother loved him. He would come down to my bar in Delaware. We would do midget shows down there, and him and I would do commentary. And him and my mother were just getting. He loved my mother to death. What a great guy.
Yeah. The Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik. You imagine, you believe I wrestled the Iron Sheik? Who gets to
That's
do that?
crazy, yeah.
It's crazy, right? So, God, I'm dating myself. I'm starting to feel old. Iron Sheik. My favorite Iron Sheik stories. We went to Hawaii. We were in Hawaii wrestling with Metal Maniac shows out there for a few weeks with Sheiky Baby. And it was me, my brother Wyatt when I was a cameraman, and Sheik, and the three of us hung out the whole time. I love the Iron Sheik. One of the funniest sons of bitches you've ever met in your life.
Cheetah Master, who we mentioned not that long ago.
My greatest rival. My greatest rival to this day. I hate the Cheetah Master. I love Mike Wower. I hate the damn Cheetah Master.
Albert and Test.
Oh, I wrestled Albert a lot more than I wrestled Test. Great matches with Albert. Another great guy. I'd hang out with him too, and he loved working me. We just worked. It was just one of those guys that we worked really well together. It was just nice to be in the ring with him. We were on the same page. We knew exactly what spot we were doing without even calling it. We knew where we were going. Great guy, and he's been amazing for NXT. He really is a great guy. Done an excellent job.
Yep. What about Hack Myers, a hardcore wrestler?
He threw up on me. I wrestled.
Really?
Yeah, he threw up all over me in the middle of a freaking match. We had to go. I just went 2 minutes long and he puked all over me.
In front of like the whole crowd?
Oh yeah, he threw up all over me.
Wow.
It was outside. It was like 90 degrees. It was in Fort Lauderdale. My father's there all excited because he gets to see me wrestle live. And 2 minutes in, he's puking all over the fucking ring.
Did you guys continue the match?
No, it was disgusting. I was gonna continue. He was a freaking mess.
What about Billy Gunn?
Awesome, just amazing. Just everything about the dude. He's in the best shape of any album. He's 60-something years old. He's still ripped to shreds. Great guy. He'll give you anything. I'm the first person to ever kick out of the Famous, sir. He gave me that, which was an honor. And great guy. Love him. Love him.
Yeah. Glad to see that he's still doing wrestling to this day, too.
Yeah.
If you could wrestle anywhere in the world where you haven't been yet, where would that be?
Japan. Yeah, I'd go to Japan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of wrestlers' dreams to wrestle there.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have gone. I just didn't go. I should have gone.
Yeah. What are 3 things that annoy you the most in wrestling?
Guys wearing T-shirts in the ring. People diving through the ropes on top of 20 people while they stand there like morons waiting for them. And, let's see. Did I mention guys wearing T-shirts in the ring? Guys that don't work out getting in the ring pisses me off to know it.
Yeah. Kind of like James Ellsworth. I mean, I don't know if he worked out, but he sure didn't look like it.
Well, at least he was funny, right? Like, you can be funny.
Yeah.
When you're in there and you're trying to be serious, like, that's a problem. At least.
Yeah. Like if you're trying to make yourself, like if you're trying to do that persona and you're not, if you don't have the body for that, I don't think you should be doing it.
No. Independent wrestlers, independent wrestlers irritate the shit out of me, and it's usually their fault.
What are 4 words you would describe your wrestling persona yourself?
My persona: charismatic, energetic, infectious, and exciting.
Yeah. What are 3 things you like the most about wrestling?
Well, it's the crowd, dude. I'm an entertainer, so to get out there and have the ability to make people smile or make them boo you or hate you, there's nothing like it in the world. And people can make fun of wrestling all they want, but until they step in the middle of the ring and look up at the crowd, they have no idea. It's the feeling you get. It's toxic. Like Roddy Piper said, it's a sickness. He's right. It is. We have a sickness. You're addicted to it. So we're hands.
Yep. If you are anxious or upset during or before a match, what do you do to help yourself calm down if you've ever had to do that?
I've never had to do that. And if you're in that position where you're anxious or upset, you're in the wrong business, man. You can be nervous. Some guys get nervous because of the crowd. The worst thing that can happen is you'll have a shitty match. And then you're just like, I don't care.
Yeah. Because when you're nervous, you most likely will forget most things.
You forget a lot of things. But listen, you can be nervous. That's okay. But that's why you have a partner in the ring with
you. Yep. Then they'll be doing all the work.
That's okay. Somebody's got
Yeah, that's right. What has been the best fan art you have received in your wrestling career, if you have received any?
I had a painting of me made one time, and I think it's in my basement at home. A really high-end painting. It was really nicely done.
Wow!
I don't even know who gave it. It showed up at my house one day.
Oh.
No, they were came from.
Out of all the wrestlers in any era, any time, who would you say who has had like the best wrestling gear in history?
Wrestling gear? Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Easily Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
That's the gear of all time.
Yeah, I could agree. Yeah. His gear was awesome. What would you say is a number 1 top unforgettable moment in your wrestling career that you'll never forget, that just sticks with you and you remember to this day?
Oh, man. There's been an awful lot. That feeling that I got the first time I stepped in the WWE ring, that sticks with me for a long time. That was an amazing
feeling.
Yeah. And, and I remember, while I was standing out there, in my head, thinking all the people telling me I'll never make it there, I'll never wasting your time, stay driving a beer truck. I'm like, yeah, dude, that was a great one. Really was a great
one. Yep. Well, you proved all the haters wrong.
That's what you do.
Yep. What does or did your meal prep look like on a day of a wrestling show? Did you eat a lot? Did you really care about your meal prep, or?
No, I didn't care. I wasn't a bodybuilder. I was just in good shape, man. So no, I didn't freaking meal prep or nothing. I'd go down to I'd go to catering and eat all their food, and then go wrestle and go eat more. I didn't give a shit.
Right. If you could or would get any tattoo, what would it be?
Well, I've got them all over me, so I got the word pain tattooed on my back in 9-inch letters, so that's the one I would get. Because I'm the only one in the world that has it, as far as I
know. What is your favorite current and old wrestlers' theme song?
Well, current theme song, I don't think there are any real good current theme songs. The old ones, there's a lot of great old ones. Billy Gunn had great music all the time. And this man was hilarious. I like Big Show's music. I think Big Show had good music. And Edge's music was good. Edge has good music. But the original Brood, the original Brood entrance was still one of the best entrances of all time. That was.
Oh yeah. That was great. Yeah, I could agree with that. Not just their song, but like their whole entrance too, and how they.
It was incredible.
Yeah. If you could go back and revisit any year of your wrestling career, what year would that be?
Oh man, 2000. Right, 2000. Yeah, right to 2000. 2000 was a good year.
Is there any like particular reason why you would want to go back to that year?
Dude, a lot of matches, a lot of big arenas, a lot of traveling around. We got to go to Africa and crazy stuff like that. It was a great time in my life, man. 2000 was very good.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self something motivational towards being a wrestler, what would that be?
I would go back in time. I probably would have fixed my diet better. I think I actually would have done that. I would have gotten bigger. I was about 220, 230 when I was WWE. But I could have walked around at 250. I probably should have, because Vince would have liked that. That's what for. So I probably could have done it.
Mm-hmm. If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
What would it say? Do not feed vodka.
What are some things you would still like to achieve in wrestling that you have not achieved yet?
Oh, I want to be the Intercontinental Champion, but I think that's a little out of reach for me at this point.
I mean, never say never. I mean, you could get the call to come back to WWE.
I don't know for that one.
Do you still have any connections with anybody that works there?
Yeah. Well, I guess Bubba Ray Dudley comes down to Florida. He hangs out all the time when he's down here. I know Carino very well. I know most of the guys up there. I just own my own business. I do far better than 99% of the guys in WWE do. I'm not going back.
What would be your dream animal of having?
My dream animal, my dog Blue. I already have him. My German short-haired pointer.
Yeah. If you could make an entrance with any animal, what animal would that be?
Well, I'd probably ride out on a big white horse, right? Be all right.
Yep. I was thinking a wolf because of your nickname.
I guess you can walk a wolf. I got a couple chained wolves like Hunter at WrestleMania. That might be all right. Yeah, I didn't think of that, man.
Yeah. What is your favorite wrestling quote?
Favorite wrestling quote? To be from any of the guys?
Yeah.
Good Lord. There's been a lot of them. I like No One to Rush. Legion of Doom. I love the Legion of Doom. What great guys they were.
Oh, yeah. One of the best tag teams.
They were such funny guys.
If you could come up with your own quote, what would it be if you don't have one already?
How you like me now? Which Bob Holly was using, and because I like Bob Holly, so I never gave him a hard time about it, even though I owned the phrase.
Yeah.
I invented it.
If you could go back and manage any wrestler right now, who would you want to manage?
Any wrestler right now?
Yeah.
I got a thing for Toni Storm. I got to tell you, I love her.
Yeah.
I think she's great. I'd love to be involved with her. She's fantastic.
Most definitely, yeah, I can agree. Yep. If you could have had anyone to manage or valet you back in the day, who would you think would have done best?
I had some good managers back in the day. I had Captain Lou always managed Cheetah, right? So I had him. But I had what's his name? Oh God, Cornette was a good manager. I had him a few times.
Oh wow.
And then I did have Lou Albano as my manager a couple times too. Yeah, Lou was with me. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Is there any background or inspiration off of your wrestling persona?
What is it?
Is there any background or inspiration off of your wrestling persona?
We need background or inspiration.
Like when Bay gave you the Jr Ryder persona, was there any like background, or was there anything that he took that from to give it onto you?
No, it was just a couple of bikers. Just a biker gimmick is all it was, and I had the look to be a biker. I was a biker.
Right.
I had all the stuff in my closet. It was easy. It was an easy gimmick to put on. I walked 12 feet, put it on. No, there was no motivation. I was just an independent gimmick that I wound up staying in and took it worldwide.
Yep. If you could dump any type of food and beverage on your opponent, what food and beverage would that be?
Beer.
Yeah.
Like Steve Austin we're in Netherlands. We sprayed him down with the beer truck.
Yeah, hey, you drove a beer truck. You could drive it in, kind of like Kurt Angle did with the milk truck, and spray beer on everyone.
If you watch, go back to YouTube and watch Steve Austin drive the beer truck out. You're going to see that he hits the Titantron, and the Titantron lifts up as he goes under it. I was standing next to the beer truck looking at it, and I was looking at the Titantron. This is one of the reasons Vince likes me. And I said to one of the crew guys, I said, how high is the Titantron? And he goes, I don't know. And I said exactly, I had the same beer truck. I said, well, this truck's 12'2". I'm going to hit the Titantron. And he looked at it like, oh, shit. Like, they didn't even think about it. Like, so they had to unstrap the Titantron. Because he would have hit it. Fucking thing off the funnel. What would have happened? But I was like, wow, fucking hit it, bro. I know I drive this every day.
Right. If there's anyone to trust, it would be you on that type of situation.
So I guess I get some positive vibes off it.
Yep.
What do we got? Raw's on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're gonna see what's going on there.
Yeah. So to finish off the interview, a couple more questions. What is one thing you would tell your wrestling fans that have been supporting you throughout all these years?
I love them. I mean that. I love them to death. They mean the world to me. They have done so much for me and given me so much joy, and they mean the world to me. They really, really do. And thank you. I would thank them because without them, I don't have the life that I have.
Of course,
they were wonderful things. It was great.
Yeah. And then for my last question, a question I ask everybody to end off is, do you have any advice for me to become a wrestler?
Well, I'm going to give you the same advice I was given. If you're going to do it, you got to go all in. All right? Everyone will tell you can't make it. You have to block them out. You have to manifest it. And this is whether it's whatever you want to do in your life. You have to manifest it and make it happen. And if there are people that are telling you can't do it, cut them out of your life. Just cut them out of your life and go about. Because those people will bring you down because they can't do it. It means they don't want you to do it. So cut out all the negatives. As soon as somebody says you can't do it, never talk to them again. Boom. Cut them right out of your life and go prove everybody wrong. Elon Musk. I'm not so sure the dude has any friends. You know why? Because he said, I'm going to go to Mars, and they all made fun of him. Well, the son of a bitch went to Mars.
Right.
So if you want to be successful, cut out all the negativity, focus on all the positives, work on yourself, eat right, lift a lot, and look the part, and carry yourself well. And you can
Yep.
go anywhere you want in this world. And don't smoke weed, because people that smoke weed don't go anywhere in life because they smell terrible and they're too dumb to know it because they killed off all their brains.
Yep. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, about the work, when about the working out, I mean, I always tell, I have a gym down in my basement here at my house, and for my new, sorry, for my New Year's resolution, I told myself that I was going to work out, and I haven't got to it yet. I mean, I'm always stalling, and I really want to start working out. Definitely, if I want to become a wrestler and look the part, and it's just, I mean, I don't know.
Don't ever lie to yourself. If you told yourself you're going to do it, you didn't do it, you lied to yourself. Don't ever lie to yourself. If you can't trust yourself, why would anyone else trust you? So if you told yourself you're going to work out, get your ass up in the morning and go work out.
Yeah.
Is that good advice?
Yeah. Thank you.
What you do? Never lie.
Well, thank you again for doing this interview with me and taking the time out to do this. It was a pleasure to have you on here.
No problem, man. It's my pleasure, man. You keep rocking and rolling. Keep me updated on your wrestling journey. You got my messenger here. Just shoot me a message if you need any advice. You feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you or anybody else out.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I hope you have a good rest of your night.
See you, buddy.
Yep. See ya.